emergency?
Yes, sir. I have an emergency.
What kind of emergency?
I come over here to talk to my cousin's boyfriend, and when I get up there, I look and there's like a footprint with like blood. So I stepped in to see, and he's laying in the kitchen all bloody.
Is he breathing?
I don't know. And he's laying face down in a puddle of blood. His name's Corey Hughes.
Police rushed to the scene, and what they found was absolutely horrifying.
Well, I came out as a medical assist. We didn't really know what we had or what we were going into. The 911 call came from a friend of a victim, Nathan Robertson. We met him out front of the house.
Down in there in the kitchen, there's blood everywhere.
Where?
Police department.
You could see bloody footprints that looked like they were going out the door. We tried not to contaminate any of that stuff. You could see straight into the kitchen. I remember seeing the victim's body laying down, face first in a pool of blood. You could see it looked like an exit wound from a gunshot to the left side of his head. My partner was the first one that went up to the victim. I asked him, I said, is he still breathing? And about that time, the victim gasped for air.
Police rushed the victim to the hospital. Soon after, investigators reached the scene and started searching for clues, trying to find out who was behind the attack.
You could see the pool of blood. A .380 casing is found on the floor within the pool of blood.
There wasn't a gun left at the scene, so that would mean that this is a possible homicide investigation. There were a lot of footprints in the blood leading around and out of the house, which means that Mr. Hughes wasn't shot and then an offender run out immediately. There had to have been time for him to bleed out, and then that person step through that blood and go through the house. The footprints provide a nice imprint of the suspect's shoe pattern, which was very common as the Nike Air Force One.
If we find the shoe with blood on it, we can definitely tie it back to who wore that shoe and possibly who the shooter is.
I didn't see any actual scenes of broken furniture, knocked over chairs, broken glass. Leads us to believe that the, offender was allowed into the home, and Mr. Hughes was kind of taken by surprise.
Nathan Robertson was the first person we're wanting to talk to.
So when you arrived, you just found...
The door was open a little bit, the main door. I looked through the door, and I seen a footprint of blood.
Right.
He had come to Corey's house to buy a TV. Corey's leaving town. He was flying out of Evansville that morning. We're told Corey was selling his property and that he had cash in the house. So pretty quickly, we believed that this was going to be probably a robbery for his cash.
Investigators searched the house carefully, looking for more clues that could explain what really happened inside.
Cell phones are very important. They explain phone conversations, text messages, locations of the phone at the time. At 7:17, Corey texted a friend who was taking him to the airport that day. It gives us a time frame. Something happened after 7:17, before the 911 call. Came in at 7:35.
I got the phone call from my cousin's ex-wife, Kelly. She said, Corey has been shot, and you need to come home.
Is he dead?
So?
He's not dead.
I knew something bad happened.
Kelly rushed to the hospital, hoping for good news. But what she heard instead left her completely shocked.
And I just remember him telling me, I'm sorry. We did everything we can.
We received word from the hospital that he had passed.
This is now an actual murder investigation.
Investigators searched the area for CCTV cameras and found one near the house. When they reviewed the footage, what they saw was truly shocking.
We're looking for that next clip of data that it recorded or what activated the camera.
So we went back to find out where Nate Robertson was parked at.
There's Nate's car.
Corey's house was 5-6 houses down on the other side of the street. Once we found Nate Robertson's vehicle, it was parked directly in front of Corey's front door. We knew the position of any vehicles that were parked in front of Corey's house prior to Nate Robertson arriving.
Okay. Let's go back a couple of clips.
7:14, motion comes on. There's no vehicle in front of Corey's house.
At this point, we know that, he's alive. He'd been texting his friend.
Click on the next clip. Starts at 7:23. The clip shows a white SUV parked in front of Corey's house.
In the wide camera angle, they spotted a white SUV, but the footage wasn't clear. So they checked another angle, and that's when they finally saw the shocking truth.
One of the camera angles actually shot directly out into the street at 7:29. As the white SUV drove past after leaving Corey's house, you got a better image of the vehicle. You could see that the rear rim of the passenger side tire was different from the rim of the front tire. It was a darker colored rim.
It has a sunroof, a roof rack, and it appears to be a more extended version of the Chevy Trailblazer. So it appears to have a lot of unique characteristics. But we could not identify the driver.
We weren't able to get a license plate number from any of the camera angles. We knew the white SUV had left at 7:29, and the 911 call from Nate Robertson came in at 7:35. So that gives us how quickly after it left that Nate Robertson arrived at the scene. It's a big moment as far as getting information. We definitely needed to locate it and figure out who was driving that SUV. We sent out a still image of the vehicle to all the department police officers and to try to get information on the vehicle if the officers could locate it.
By the time we had gotten down to the hospital, Corey had passed away from the gunshot in his head. They told us that we couldn't see him because he was already at the coroner's office.
I said, I don't care. I said, I want to see my son, bring him, take me to him or something. They said that he was shot in the left temple. And I just couldn't believe it. It's still hard to believe.
Everybody was in shock. Didn't even really know how to take it.
That something like this could happen to, one of my kids. You just don't ever think it could happen to your child.
Who could have done this to him? I mean, we just wondered how, who, and why.
She showed up, and she was kind of telling us some names of people that we need to find.
Now, somebody got a text message, and he said he's leaving town. And I'm going to tell you where they're at. All right? Take somebody there.
It's Benjamin Bays.
She gave the name Ben Bays pretty quickly. Ben and Corey were very close friends. She believed Ben Bays could be involved in this situation.
And he's Instagramming that he's leaving town. Benjamin Bays, she's got a tattoo right here.
And on his thing it says he does have guns.
If somebody says they have a gun and they're going to leave town, going to be a person we're going to investigate.
In dealing with a person of interest of this nature, we want to take a lot of precautions. One, that this person could potentially be armed and whatnot. So we just surround the house and try to call him out to come meet the officers.
Can we talk to the dude in your house? Can we talk to the dude in there?
When speaking to a friend of Ben Bay's, James Leslie, he stated that Ben had arrived at his home around 8 or 8:30.
And this dude's already got a pistol. Now hear about a murder. Somebody's involved, okay? There's wouldn't be guns around. Somebody wasn't involved in something stupid.
When he comes in, he was talking about a murder and was in possession of a firearm. That would definitely raise suspicion in thinking that he was involved. We were definitely alerted that one of those firearms could potentially be a murder weapon in the Corey Hughes case. So it was very, very important to secure that residence.
I want lawyers because, like they said, I do have the right to plead my Fifth Amendment. Because I know for a fact that I have nothing to do with it.
Officers located Ben Bays.
Why am I being arrested? If I'm getting arrested...
You're not being arrested, you're being detained.
Why am I being detained?
Because they want to talk to you.
They detained him in the house.
Investigators arrested Ben Bays for questioning, and during the interview, he revealed a shocking truth.
Were you over there at all yesterday? I've been selling Corey off and on for a while. I mean, he's always very good type of dude.
He explained that he was at Corey's house the night before. He'd been staying at Corey's house after breaking up with his girlfriend.
Now, Corey's been selling his stuff recently, right? You know about that, right? Gave her a bunch of clothes, gave me some things. Right. So he's had a lot of money around there. Had you told anybody that you had any money around the house? No. You didn't tell anybody? No.
After questioning Ben, investigators searched the house, and what they found inside was truly shocking.
We'd be looking for cellular phones and other devices capable of transmitting data that could use GPS or whatever to put him in the area at the time. Looking for ammunition that may match the shell casing that was collected at the scene. Guns were recovered from the home where Benjamin Bays was located. Those firearms ended up being BB guns. A BB gun would not be capable of inflicting the injury that Corey Hughes sustained.
Investigators questioned him about his movements on the night of the crime, trying to piece together exactly what happened.
We left at 1 o'clock, 1:30, 1:45. I don't even remember. After that, I did not go back. Did you have anything close on all day yesterday today?
Ben explained that after having left the house around 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, they went to a local convenience store, purchased some items.
Investigators went to the store to retrieve CCTV footage. When they reviewed it, the truth about that night became clear.
We ended up getting footage that showed that his friend did leave the house.
Freeze it.
I noticed during that footage, he had on the exact same clothing he had during the interview.
Investigators noticed Ben was wearing the same clothes as the night before and during the interview. They tested the clothing in the lab, but found no blood, and the shoe prints didn't match the crime scene. With no physical evidence, Ben couldn't be directly linked to the attack.
He indicated that he had been living with Corey over the last couple of days, and that there were a lot of people who were coming and going who were purchasing items from Corey. And so it's important to discover who all these people are.
I mean, I had a few people come over, but there's one of them, I'm talking personally. And the bigger black guy was the guy that was trying to hide on the bus and brought the iPad there. Like, I think that in a way is still kind of tied together, but I know nothing about the whole entire story.
Ben's able to describe a black male who was acting a bit odd. So to have an unidentified individual who was kind of acting strange is a very important piece of the puzzle.
I get a name from an informant of Brendan Brown. He drives a white SUV. Brendan Brown actually knows Corey and knew that he was selling property to move to out of state.
Brandon Brown did have some criminal history that would cause him to be disqualified from possessing a firearm.
Hey, I got a name for you. Brandon Brown.
We looked up phone records and located a phone call from Brandon Brown's phone to Corey that morning at 7:08.
Investigators tracked down Brendan Brown and arrested him. He was found with the white SUV seen near the crime scene.
Brandon Brown wasn't a stranger. Brandon was somebody that me and Corey had like get-togethers with, barbecues. He'd been to birthday parties with us. I mean, anything could help. Even if he didn't do it, maybe he just knows something.
I was very relieved that finally something happened with the case.
Hey, Brad. How you doing? Any idea why you're down here? All I was doing, starting to enjoy my son, y'all went to church with her.
He's not stressed at all. He appears forthcoming with information, so you're not really sure if he's involved.
Yeah, I was in his house. Yeah, I was at Corey's house. I went to Corey's house Thursday night.
He admits that he was actually at Corey's house the night before. That he is the male that the other people didn't know. So it's exciting to get that information and start to put pieces together. He doesn't know we have footage of his vehicle at the scene before Corey is found.
We got some questions for that one. Your truck place. Is there anything on the truck place that makes it stick out? What about the wheels? My grandfather came over and helped me change that. Which one's that? On the passenger side.
So he's given us a fairly accurate description of his vehicle.
Is this your... Looks like mine, but I'm a little white, but it has one just like yours. Just like yours? Yeah. Has the same tire, same... Yeah.
He's not acting like that's really their car. There's another guy around town that drives the car that looks just like theirs. And that was probably the first time he showed any signs of getting nervous.
In another room, investigators questioned Brendan's wife, hoping she could reveal what really happened.
All right, Jessica. My name's Detective Jones. This is Detective Evans. It's Jessica, right? I've already met you, but what's your last name?
Jessica was very forthcoming with information. She did not show any signs of deception during our interview with her.
Okay. Would this be yours with the missing hubcap?
I showed Jessica a photo from the video surveillance footage of the vehicle leaving Corey's house, and I didn't tell her where it was or anything.
Yeah, because we had a flat tire that blew out, and we had to change the tire.
Oh, yeah, so is that a spare tire on there?
Yeah, it's a spare tire.
And does it have a sunroof as well?
Yes, it does.
And she said she was 100% sure it was her car.
Investigators searched for CCTV cameras along the road between Corey's house and Brendan's home. They found one, and when they reviewed the footage, it gave them a clear view of what happened.
At 6:51, the Trailblazer can be seen pulling in a gas station about 6 blocks away from Corey's home. We know that this vehicle was in the area specifically at the time when Corey was still alive. We're just hoping to get positive identification of Brandon driving that vehicle.
It actually catches Brandon Brown getting out of the Trailblazer, going inside the business.
His wife had already stated that it's his vehicle, so to see him get out is very crucial.
The importance of this is what clothes was he wearing? What shoes did he have on?
This particular type of shoe was same as the footprints that were left in the blood at the scene.
He leaves from the business, goes east on Missouri, which is towards Corey's house.
At 6:54, the gas station footage puts him 6 blocks away from the scene within just a few minutes of when the other footage captures him just across the street from Corey's house. We were very confident that was the car and that he was the driver. It really removed all doubt that he was the individual that committed the crime.
Investigators searched Brendan's house, and inside they found key evidence that connected him directly to the crime.
But they do find 2 firearms. One was a Beretta 9mm, and the other firearm was a Bertha 380. We have a 380 casing at the scene, and one of the firearms recovered is a 380. We send that along with the casing at the scene and the projectile, which was recovered at Corey's autopsy. We confront Brandon Brown with the information that Jessica Brown says that's 100% their vehicle. We have his vehicle at the scene moments before Corey's found, and we also have a gun matching the same caliber of the casing at the scene. He's getting really nervous. He's very uncomfortable now.
So, okay. You haven't been 100% true.
At that point, I knew it was time to really start interrogating him in a manner of trying to get to the truth of what happened.
Do you want to tell me about that morning? Did things get out of control?
I knew that he was, really wanting to unburden himself. And that's whenever he kind of told his version of what happened.
Okay. What happened at the house?
I was starting knocking on the door and I just felt something wasn't right.
Okay.
Brandon did state that he had gone over to Corey's house to purchase something and said that he had an odd feeling, so he took a firearm with him.
He just clocked out.
Okay. When you say clocked out, what do you mean?
Just like some switch went on him.
So he was angry?
Corey was acting a little bit strange, and he actually said that Corey had a knife and slashed at him.
Can you describe it? Okay, so it was the kitchen knife?
And at that point, he just kind of blacked out and heard a bang.
Okay. Did you have a gun?
You got the evidence, man. So
Is it the 380 from the house?
we both know what that is, man.
It really wasn't very plausible, considering that the scene, there was no sign of a struggle, there was no defensive wounds. It almost appeared that Corey, from the way he would have been shot, would have almost been like from behind.
Investigators officially charged Brendan with the murder of Corey Lee.
This morning, police records show there has been an arrest in an Evansville murder investigation. 38-year-old Brandon Brown was booked into jail just after 12:30 this morning. He's facing charges of murder and possession of a handgun by a felon. Police records list Brown's case number as the same case number in the Corey Hughes murder investigation. According to a police report, Hughes was found dead in a home on East Maryland Street Friday morning. We spoke to family members. Sarah Frazier, who is the victim's aunt, says she doesn't understand how something like this could happen to Hughes. Now, Frazier says her family's in limbo, wondering what happened.
Complicated. It's real complicated. Like, 1 minute you're scared, 1 minute you want to go find out what happened. Like, it's iffy. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard.
Hughes leaves behind 3 children, all under the age of 10. Again, according to the Vanderbilt County Jail website, a man has been booked with a murder charge. That man, Brandon Brown, reports from Evansville police this morning linked that arrest to the death on Maryland Street. We'll be checking in with officers this morning.
Justice was served, but one precious life was lost.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories that delve deep into the heart of the human experience.